take this somewhere 2-3 topics extra pending. You are not audible, is it? Now, how about now? Audible now? Quickly put your comments in the comment box. I'm audible now? Wait. Huh. The streaming may a little, there is, there's a little time gap. So now, how about now? Audible? Yes, sir. Okay. Now it is audible. Super. Again, welcome to the GST Park here. So we are in the GST Park. So where exactly we are in ITC? We are in ITC. Okay. I'm your mentor. I'm your guide. CA Nagendra Bhaktha here. So we are going to kickstart now. This is the last day, last session here. Somewhere 2 hours. For next 2 hours, we'll be discussing about some of the important topics, which is about ITC. ITC, we have already started in the last class. ITC, we are going to continue. I think section number 16 is done. Section number 17, almost done. Section number 17.5 is pending. So later, we have to start with section number 18. Section number 17, blocked credits. That we have to start now. From blocked, after blocked credits, we are going to some other important topics, which is section number 18. Section number 18 will be starting. And after that, we'll be directly going to the payments chapter. So after that, we'll be starting with some of the questions, important questions, which is required for payment, ITC and payments chapter. You know that people, so they know what are the provisions. GST ka provisions, they do understand, they know what is the provision, but they don't know how to apply. That happens specifically, this happens in case of ITC chapter. So here in ITC chapter, I am going to solve some of the questions for you. And in later days, I'm trying to record some of the videos, that is for exemption chapter and returns chapter. Returns chapter and exemption chapter ke liye I will record and I'll put it on the YouTube. Plus some of the question and answers, solving question and answers, that also I'm trying to make it up here, because I am getting 6 hours to finish the portion. So what I have done here, a quick marathon, quick revision of all the topics, which are the important topics such as supply, registration, charge of GST, time of supply, value of supply, like this. So I could cover up some of the important topics in this 6 hours. So later in future, what I'm going to do, if time permits, I'll record some of the videos and I'll put it on the YouTube. Okay? So that you can refer and you can go for it. Yes. So students have joined in. So quickly, we will recap what has happened in the previous classes. So which is supply. We discussed about supply, section number 7. Section number 7 and section number 8 of CGST Act, that is supply. Later, we discussed about the schedules. Schedule number 1. What is schedule number 1 here? That is the supply, deemed supply. Schedule number 2, whether it is supply of goods or supply of service. Schedule number 3, negative list. So specifically in negative list, it is about neither supply of goods nor supply of service, that we discussed. Later, we went to registration chapter. In registration chapter, we discussed about section number 22, section number 23. 22 is who is liable. 23 is who is not liable. 24 is compulsory registration. If you are so and so, then you have to go for compulsory registration. Even 1 rupee ka sale, you have to go for compulsory registration. Section number 25 is about this procedures. So if you are liable to get registered under section 22 or 24, not 23, 23 is who is not liable. Under section 25, there are some procedures. So you have to follow the procedures. Section number 25 says that within 30 days, you have to apply. Only then you'll get the RTI. What is RTI? It is revised tax invoice. You can give revised tax invoice within next 30 days. So that, and there are some many procedures, such as if you are supplying in WTI. What is WTI? Sorry, TWI, territorial waters of India. If you are supplying in territorial waters of India, in that case, you have to take the registration in the nearest baseline. Section number 25. And later, it also told that if you are having any branches in SEZ, there you have to take a separate registration, which is mandatory. And if you are a CTP and NRTP, before the commencement of your business, 5 days prior to the commencement of the business, you have to take the registration and you have to pay the GST in advance and you have to start the business. Otherwise, you are not allowed to start the business. This is for section number 25, subsection 1. Section number 25, subsection 2 is, sir, I want to take 2 registrations. You can go for 2 registration. In one state, 2 registration, possible. Sir, in 2 states, I want to take 1 registration. Possible? No, not possible. Why? Because we know that GST consists of, it is alphanumerical. So there are numbers in this. First 2 digits are state code. Correct? First 2 digits are state code. That means in Karnataka, state code is 29. In Kerala, state code is different. So that you cannot take 1 registration for 2 states. Possible, sir? No, not possible. You cannot take 1 registration for 2 states. You have to take 2 registration for 2 states. It is mandatory. Okay, so that is about section number 25, subsection 1, subsection 2. Subsection 3 is MAMU section. What is MAMU section? If you are not liable under section 22 and 24, but still you wish to take the registration, can you take the you can take the registration under section 25, subsection 3. Section number 25, subsection 4 and 5 is deemed registration. 4 is about 2 registration deemed. You are deemed to be a distinct person. Section number 25, subsection 5 is about you have registration in one state, other state, you just have the establishment, you don't have the registration. Even then, transferring the goods from registration to unregistered person, that will be considered as deemed supply. You are the one, you have 2 branches. One branch is in Kerala, one branch is in Karnataka. Karnataka is registered, Kerala is not registered. You are transferring goods from Karnataka to Kerala, that will be considered as supply. Why? Because as per section number 25, subsection 5, you 2 branches will be considered as deemed distinct person. Section number 25, subsection 5. Section number 25, subsection 6, you should have the PAN to get the registration. But section number 25, subsection 7 says that if you are NRTP, you will not be having the PAN. If you don't have the PAN, you cannot take the registration, sir. Then what is NRTP registration? So government told that if you are NRTP, you don't have the PAN, then you can give some other documents. What are the other documents? For example, passport or tax identification number, which is given by that country. Here it is PAN, permanent account number, but in that country it might be something else. No, so that can be given here and you can take the registration. That is section number 25, subsection 7. Section number 25, subsection 8 is suo motu registration. You are liable under section 22 or 24, but you are not taking the registration. Me being the PO, I will give you the registration. So this is suo motu registration. Okay, so that's about section number 25. Section number 26 is about deemed registration. You are registered under CGST, deemed to be registered under SGST. Sorry, if you are registered under SGST, then you are deemed to be registered under CGST. If your application got rejected under SGST, then you are deemed to be rejected under CGST. That is section number 26. Section number 27 is for CTP and RTP. 5 days prior to the date of commencement of your business, you have to take the registration. And you have to pay the GST in advance on the liability. What might be the estimated liability that you have to pay? You don't know the actual liability, but estimated. You have to estimate the liability and that you have to pay to the government. Required? Yes, sir. Sir, can I take the extension? Yes. Section number 27 says that you can take the extension for 90 days. Usually you get the registration for the days you require or 90 days. In the beginning, you get the registration for days that you require or the 90 days, whichever is less. But if I want to take the extension, sir, can I take the extension? Yes, you can take the extension for the number of days you are asking or 90 days, whichever is less. You'll get the extension, maximum 1 extension that you get. Sir, I want extension again. No, you don't get the extension. You have to cancel your CTP registration and you have to register as normal registered person. Only then you get the registration. That is about section number 27. Section number 28. Section number 28 is about amendment, core field and non-core field amendment. In case of core field, you require the approval. In case of non-core field, immediate amendments, that is possible. And remember, within 15 days of changes, no, you have to go for amendment. Section number 28, what are core fields, sir? Name of your business, that is changing. Partners, that is changing. Place of business, principal place of business, that is changing. All these are what? All these are considered as core field. Non-core field, example, your phone number is changing, your email address is changing. You cannot ask the GST officer to approve that. Correct? No. See, small changes. Hello, GST officer, I am changing my phone number. So why this is required? Not required. That's why non-core field amendments immediately it will get amended. But in case of core field, it will get amended only on the basis of approval, which is given by the PO, proper officer. PO stands for not post office people. PO stands for proper officer. Yes. In next, section number 29 is about cancellation of registration. You can cancel, being the registered person, you can cancel. PO can cancel if he finds something fraud or illegal or not as per the provisions of the business, or not as per the provisions of CGST, then he can cancel your registration. Or in third scenario, if the registered person, if the registered person is deceased person, immediately next, the legal hire of this registered person can take for cancellation. Within 30 days, he has to apply and cancel the registration. That is section number 29. Section number 30 is about revocation of cancellation. Who can revoke the cancellation? Revocation means taking back. So the registration has been cancelled. Now I have to take back that registration. If I only apply for cancellation, can I go for revocation? No. Section number 29 says that. Section number 30 says that if you have applied for cancellation under section 29, and you want to go for revocation under section 30, no, it is not possible. You cannot apply for revocation because you only cancelled. No, now you cannot take the revocation. When you can go for revocation, if cancellation is done by PO, you are not agreeing with that, then you can go for revocation of cancellation. That is about section number 30. Later we discussed about, after registration, we discussed about charge of GST. So what are the charges of GST? Charge of GST, section number 9, subsection 1. On all intrastate supply, on all intrastate supply of goods and services, except alcoholic liquor for human consumption, maximum of 20% tax is charged. Maximum of 20% CGST is charged. CGST, just CGST. So you can go for CGST 20% plus SGST 20%. Totally, it is 40%. Section number 9, subsection 1. Section number 9, subsection 2 says that there are 5 petro products, which are those PMHAN. P for petroleum crude, M for motor spirit, H for high-speed diesel, A for aviation turbine fuel, N for natural gas. So these things are out of GST. You are not required to pay GST on this. And you don't have to take the registration as well, because exclusive supplier of non-taxable supplies and exempt supplies, they are not required to take the registration under section 23, subsection 1, clause A. You are not required to take the registration. Yes. Later, we discussed about this one, section number 9, subsection 3, that is reverse charge under various, various services, reverse charge for various goods and services. Fortunately, it is your luck that goods are not required to be studied in your CA intermediate syllabus and CA final syllabus. Here we are going to discuss about the services. What are the services that we discussed? If you remember, GTA services, sponsorship services, government ka services, and in case of director services, correct? No, director services, photographer services, music composer services. And in case of recovery agent, RBI overseeing committee, DSA, direct selling agent, business correspondent, business facilitator, and who else? SEBI is giving some services, renting of vehicles. In all these cases, no, you are required to pay GST under RCM. There are many conditions to this that we discussed in the last class. Later, we discussed it is not required here. Why? Because you are not going to study that in your CA intermediate ka syllabus. But I told you what is there in section number 9, subsection 4. What is there in section number 9, subsection 4? Specified goods for specified persons, they have to pay under RCM. I told you that in case of construction business it is. Section number 9, subsection 5 is about, remember the story? You ordered a cab in Ola, correct? No. And you went for a conference, you have to stay in Oyo rooms, Ola, Oyo rooms, and you came back and you saw that the house is messy, fully messed up. Now you take some services from the urban clap housekeeping services. So these are the 3 services: Ola services, Oyo room services, and housekeeping services. These 3 services, if you are ordering from the online platform, they have to pay under RCM. Online platform, not you. Not you. Online platforms, they are giving the service. No, they have to pay under RCM. Yes, that is about section number 9, subsection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now section number 12 and 13. 12 is for goods, time of supply in case of goods. 13 is for time of supply in case of service. We know that there are 6 subsections in section number 12 and section number 13. All are giving almost same the same provisions. Section number 12 and section number 13. 12 is for time of supply in case of goods. 13 is for time of supply in case of service. So we discussed that section number 12, subsection 1, section number 13, subsection 1, which says that levy of GST as per time of supply as considered under section number 12, 2 to 12.6, 12, 13, 2 to 13.6. Simple subsection it is. Section number 12 and 13, subsection 2. What subsection 2 says? Simple one in case of forward charge mechanism. Section number 12, subsection 2 says that in case of goods, forward charge mechanism, it is the earlier of date of invoice or last date to issue the invoice, whichever is earlier. That we will compare with date of payment. These 3 things, whichever is earlier. So that will be considered as date of time of supply in case of goods, especially under forward charge mechanism. Under reverse charge mechanism, sir, it is date of invoice, date of receipt of the goods, or the date of payment, or the 30 days, 30th day, following the 30th day from the issue of invoice or any other such documents which are given by the supplier in case of RCM. Section number 12, subsection 3 for RCM. In case of RCM, it is the date of receipt of the goods or date of payment or 30th day, which is following the date of invoice. Yeah, 31st day. Actually, it is 31st day. That means on this day, 22nd of September, invoice is given. You have to leave 22nd of September. 23rd onwards, 30 days you have to calculate. 31st day. 23rd onwards, 31st day, no, that will be the date of, that will be the time of supply. Yes. So that is about RCM in case of goods. RCM in case of services, sir. If invoice is given on time, FCM in case of services. If invoice is given on time, then invoice, it is invoice date or date of payment, whichever is earlier. If invoice is not on time, sir, in that case, it is date of provision of service or date of provision of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier. The third case, subclause 3, which says that if this is not possible to consider the time of supply as per section number 12, subsection 2, clause A or clause B, then you have to see the recipient's books of accounts. When the service is entered in the recipient's books of account, that date will be the time of supply. That is about section number 13, subsection 2. Section number 13, subsection 3, it is about RCM. In case of RCM, 60th day or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Only 2 subclause here, date of payment or 60th day, whichever, 6th day following the 60th day, that means 61st day. Day following the 60th day, that means 61st day. That 61st day will be the time of supply. Now later, section number 12, section number 13, subsection 4, section number 12 or section number 13, subsection 4. What subsection 4 says? It is about voucher. If goods or service is identifiable, then the time of supply will be the issue of voucher, the date of issue of voucher. If goods is not ascertainable, then redemption of the voucher. That date will be the time of supply. Yes. Next one, section number 12 or 13, subsection 5. It is residual cases. If it is not possible to determine the time of supply as per subsection 1, subsection 2, 3, 4, then you have to go for subsection 5. It is in case of residual cases. If it is not possible to go for 2, 3, 4, then it is return date or payment date, whichever is earlier. Return date or payment date, as the case may be. Lastly, section number 12 or section number 13. Section number 12 or section number 13, subsection 6. It is in case of interest, late fee and penalty. In case of interest, penalty and late fees, in that case, it is the receipt. The exact receipt date, that will be the time of supply. that we discussed. This is what we discussed in section number 12 and section number 13. I told you section number 14 is not there in your syllabus, but what is section number 14? In between the rate of charges, GST, that changes, then what we have to do, sir? So that is section number 14. It is not there in your intermediate syllabus. It is there in your CA finals ka syllabus. Right now, we'll keep it aside. Section number 15 is about value of supply. We discussed. Section number 15, subsection 1 says that the price which is paid or payable, that will be the value of supply, provided. What is the proviso? It says that price should be the sole consideration. What is the meaning of price should be the sole consideration? I am selling you the water bottle. Example, I am selling you this water bottle. This water bottle, no? When I am selling you this water bottle, the price that you paid is 2 rupees. Other 8 rupees ke liye you danced for me. So in that case, price is not the sole consideration, no. Some other things that you have given here. Getting this? Understood? So you are giving some other things here. In that case, price is not the sole consideration. Section number 15, subsection 1 will not apply. Section number 15, subsection 4 will apply, but section number 15, subsection 4 is not there in your syllabus. Enjoy. Section number 15, subsection 4. Section number 15, subsection 1, again, what it says, the value of supply will be the transaction value. Sir, what is transaction value? Price paid or required to be payable. Required to be paid. Price paid or payable. That will be the transaction value, provided price is the sole consideration. Second important one is buyer and seller should not be the related parties. If buyer and seller is the related parties, then that section number 15, subsection 4 is applicable. There are some rules. Rule number 27, rule number 28, rule number 29, rule number 30, rule number 31, rule number 32. So these rules are applicable. Sir, where to study about these rules? If you are interested, then you can go for CA finals ka syllabus. But I'm very sure that right now you don't have the time. But if you have the interest, sir, I have studied GST ka classes. So then you can go for. Okay. Sir, is it mandatory to remember the section numbers? Okay. So if you ask me this question, I would say yes, required. Why? Because it will help you for CA finals as well. But here, see, in GST, no, if you ask me, I say that yes, people, section number is required. You have to remember the section numbers. Why? Because if they ask the question as per section number, if they ask the question that GST is not applicable on the services, so goods or services which are specified under section number 7, subsection 1A, paragraph number 5, clause B. What do? You have to answer, no. I'm not, I'm not very sure they might ask these kind of questions or not, but I am telling you, if you remember the section numbers, no, definitely that will help you for CA final examination. And at the same time, if you see some of the notices, wait, do I have a GST notice? I think I have one notice here. Recently, I've been dealing with some notices. I have shown this to my students. See, these kind of notices we will get, Aida. So these kind of notices, you cannot see that. You cannot see that. But again, these kind of notices we will get. Why this notice is required, sir? I will tell you what is given in this notice. Some of the sections, no, specifically they give the sections. Where? So it's in Kannada. I don't know if you can understand it properly or not. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ GSTR 3B ವರದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಘೋಷಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳದ ವಹಿವಾಟಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನಂತೆ ತೆರಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಹಾಗೂ ಬಾಧ್ಯ ತೆರಿಗೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ GST ಕಾಯಿದೆ 2017ರ ಪ್ರಕರಣ 50/1 ಅಡಿ. Now you should know what is 50 bracket में 1 ಅನ್ವಯಿಸುವ ಮಾಸಿಕ ತೆರಿಗೆ 1.5 ರಂತೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯನ್ನು ಪಾವತಿಸಲು ತೆರಿಗೆದಾಯಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು ಬಾಧ್ಯರಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. So it is given in this notice. Specifically given in this notice, section wise, they give you the section wise, or they might tell you that as per section number 7, subsection 1A, this is not the service. You should be knowing what is section number 7, subsection 1A. There is schedule number 2. Schedule number 2 is there, and paragraphs. We have 6 paragraphs in schedule number 2. So now right now, I might say that not very important one, but education, for what purpose we are getting the education? Knowledge purpose. For knowledge purpose, no. Examination, don't read everything for examination point of view. You have to read something for your career as well. For career purpose, once you clear this CA intermediate examination, you are going to articleship. There in articleship, if you get these kind of notices, how many pages are there in this notice? 7 pages are there in this notice. And you know what is the total GST, that is demand notice it is. Total GST is 20 lakh rupees. Demand notice is for 20 lakh rupees. And this demand notice has come, no, sometimes, see, I'll just read out. You just tell me, is there any point in this? See, point number 1, I don't take too much of time, just 2 minutes. See, 2018-19, 2018-19 ಸಾಲಿನ ಇಲಾಖಾ ಅಂತರ್ಜಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತರ್ಜಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತೆರಿಗೆದಾಯಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿರುವ GSTR 3B ವರದಿಯನ್ನು ಇಲಾಖಾ ಅಂತರ್ಜಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ GSTR 2A ವರದಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪರಿಶೀಲಿಸಿದಾಗ ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನಂತೆ ಹೂಡುವಳಿಕೆ ತೆರಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. So that means they have seen that GSTR 3B and 2A. What is 2A? For ITC. GSTR 2A is for ITC. 3B is for the summary. 2A is ITC. How much ITC that you get? And 3B is, what is the 3B? That is summary return. Now I tell you, 2A may you get, example, you get 100 rupees as ITC. But in 3B, example, I have claimed only 80 rupees. Is there anything wrong here? Nothing wrong, no. So I get 100 rupees as the ITC, but here in 3B, I am getting, I have availed only 80 rupees of ITC. 3B, 2A, you know, that is ITC ka. How much ITC is available for this month? That is ITC, 2A. 3B, if you see 3B, no, it is 80 rupees. That is what I have claimed on that, in that. So what is the problem here? No problem, no. There is no problem in this, but still the government gave one notice that the difference between 2A and 3B. In 2A, you are getting somewhere 1,90,000. In 2A, you are getting 1,90,000. See, 1,90,000, I'll get the ITC. But how much claim which was done by the client? It is 1,44,461. What is the difference? It is 45,599 is the difference. Now the government is telling, you know what government is telling? ಈ ಮೇಲಿನ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಹೂಡುವಳಿಕೆದಾರರು ನೋಂದಾಯಿತ ತೆರಿಗೆದಾಯಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಪಡೆದ ಸರಕು ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಮೇಲಿನ ಹೂಡುವಳಿಕೆ ತೆರಿಗೆ CGST 29,955 ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. That is multiplied by 2. Yeah. So totally in that there are some section number 7 subsection 5 ka block credits are there. After deducting that somewhere 29,955. So claim ಮಾಡಿರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. You have not claimed this amount 29,955 that you have not claimed. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರುವ ಈ ಮೇಲಿನ ಅವರ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿರುವ ಸರಕನ್ನು ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟ ಸರಕು ಎಂದು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. So what it is given? ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟ ಸರಕು. ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟ ಸರಕು means concealed. Concealed. The goods are concealed. That means so much of amount, no, these goods are concealed. You tell me, by understanding section number 16 subsection 1, is there anything wrong here? Nothing. The client has done the correct one. So he is not, see, I don't want ITC, Baba. If I don't want the ITC, I leave the ITC. That is left to me, no. I don't want the ITC, not required. If I have claimed ulta, see, this is what available, but I have claimed this one, 1,90,000, that is wrong. The available is 1,44,000, but what I got is 1,09,000. What I claimed is 1,90,000. That is wrong, that you cannot do. But here, nothing wrong here. These kind of notices that you get. Okay, if you get these kind of notices, people, you should be knowing, no, in which section number 16, subsection 1 may, I am right, sir. I don't want this ITC. I am not taking this ITC. Where is the wrong? Okay. I don't know. In the comment box, if I am wrong, you have to tell me in the comment box. Okay. So this is section numbers need to be required to be remembered, sir. But if I say that, okay, if you want me to do it, then yes. I tell you that better to remember the section numbers. Sir, how did you manage to learn so many technical words in Kannada? It is required. Why? Because chartered accountant, no, when you get these kind of notices, no, it is required to be thorough with the section number and even Kannada. GST claim ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ or GST ಮತ್ತು ತೆರಿಗೆದಾಯಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯು goods and service tax. You know what is goods and service tax? It is ಸರಕು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವಾ ತೆರಿಗೆ. Goods and service tax is ಸರಕು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವಾ ತೆರಿಗೆ in Kannada it is. Anyway, so these things are required, people. So the payment of tax, ITCs, or sorry, where am I? Section number 15, subsection 1, 2. What are in section number 15, subsection 2? Section number 15, subsection 2 is about inclusions. What are the things which has to be included in the GST? So that is value of supply. What are the things that you will include? It is tax, except GST, that you have to include, and obligations of the supplier which is met by the recipient, that you will include, and packing charges, any other incidental charges, commission, only selling commission, not the buying commission. Okay, so that you have to include. And later you have to include what are the things such as subsidy that you have to include. Only subsidies by the other people. Subsidy given by central government, state government, no, not required. Pragnananda, please speak in Hindi also, sir. बात करता हूँ ना मैं. I know this. Okay, Pragnananda, you are the one who was in chess, no? Chess ka champion. आप हो क्या? No. Pragnananda. So this, you heard about Pragnananda, no? Chess champion. बात करूँगा ना, क्यों नहीं? But लेकिन ये GST का notice ना, so it is not in Hindi. So I don't know what is there, what do we call in Hindi for GST? I don't know. See, I'm not very fluent in Hindi. I'm very sorry. But I keep my discussions, everything in English, not in Kannada. So that even you guys, it is getting uploaded to YouTube now. Yes, so that is about the section number 15, inclusions. Section number 15, subsection 3 is about what are the exclusions here. What will be the exclusions? Exclusions are one, that is discount. Before the supply, you have given the discount, that you will exclude. After the supply, you have given some discount, that you will exclude only if air condition is satisfied. What is air condition? A for agreement should be there, I for specifically linked to the invoice, and R for ITC should be reversed. If ITC can be reversed, only then this is there, otherwise no. So these are the conditions for section number 15, subsection 3. So we will limit our discussion to section number 15, subsection 3. 4, 5, all these things are not there in your syllabus. We will discuss that in finals classes. Next one, it is about ITC. We started with, tax invoice. Section number 31 is about tax invoice. Section number 31, subsection 1, in case of goods, when you have to give the tax invoice, so if there is movement of the goods, then before you remove the goods from the factory, you have to take the invoice. If there is no movement, then when you are making that available, that is section number 31, subsection 1. Section number 31, subsection 2 is in case of services. In case of services, it is before the provision of service or during the provision of service and after the provision of service within 30 days or 45 days. So within 30 days or 45 days, you have to give the invoice. That is in case of section number 31, subsection 2. Section number 31, subsection 3, there are some conditions. Remember, what are the conditions? RCB versus RRSP. Correct, no? RCB versus RRSP. Now tell me, what is R? You should have received the goods. Correct, no? What is C? Oh, sorry. Not received the goods. Revised tax invoice, RTI. You should have given the revised tax invoice. C for consolidated. It is not required ki you have to give the tax invoice below the, not required. If that person is asking, then you have to give the invoice. If the value of supply is less than 200, in that case, it is not required to give the, it is not mandatory to give the tax invoice, but at the end of the day, you have to go for consolidated tax invoice. At the end of the day, not the year, end of the day. Next one is B. B for bill of supply. If you are supplying exempted goods, then it is bill of supply. Versus RR. What is RR? Receipt voucher, refund voucher. In case of advance, no, you receive the advance receipt voucher. You pay the amount, you refund it, that is refund voucher. Okay, that is required. Next one, it is SP, S for self invoice. If you are purchasing anything from the supplier, which is taxable under reverse charge mechanism, self invoice, and payment voucher. If you are paying anything to that person, then it is payment voucher. So this is about section number 31, subsection 3. Section number 31, subsection 4, in case of continuous supply of goods. Continuous supply of goods, when you have to give the invoice at the date of statement or the payment, whichever is earlier. In case of section number 31, subsection 5, that is in case of service, continuous supply of service, when you have to give the invoice, if due date is ascertainable, then on the due date or the payment, whichever is earlier. If due date is not ascertainable, then the date of payment or date of provision of service, whichever is earlier. In case of any other residual cases, then whenever, correct, no? Am I telling something wrong here? Sorry, not in this page, somewhere here. Continuous supply of service. See, due date is ascertainable. If due date is ascertainable, due date will be the last date of invoice. Sorry, due date will be the last date of invoice. If due date is not ascertainable, date of payment. Date of payment will be the last date of invoice. If payment is linked to the completion of the service event, some event, then the event date. So the last date to issue the invoice is the completion of the event. Due date is ascertainable, then due date or payment, whichever is earlier. And if due date is not ascertainable, then date of payment. If the payment is linked to the completion of the service, then it is on the completion of the event. So when the event gets completed, no, on that day. So this is about section number 31, subsection 5. Section number 31, subsection 6 is about cessation of the service in between. That means in between, you are giving some services. Before the completion of service ceases, the service supply of service that ceases. That means you are stopping. Now, for how much service that you have given, for that you have to give the invoice. Section number 31, subsection 7 is about sale on approval basis. It is 6 months. Within 6 months, you have to give the invoice or approval, on approval, whichever is earlier. That is section number 31, subsection 7. Section number 32, that if you are not registered person, you are not supposed to take the GST. Don't collect the GST. That is offense. Section number 32 again says that you are required to take only so much of GST which is allowed by the GST Act. Example, 9% is allowed. You can collect only 9%, not more than that. That is offense. If you are not registered person, don't collect it. Collecting 1 rupee is also offense. If you are registered person, you can collect the GST. You can collect to the extent of what is mentioned in the GST Act, not more than that. Okay. So this is about continuous supply of services. This is continuous supply of services. This is about section number 31. Section number 32. Now, section number 33 is about tax invoice. You have to separately give the tax amount that you have to show it separately. That is section number 33. Section number 34 is about credit note and debit note. Credit note, when you can give the credit note, you have overcharged the amount. Value is more. In that case, you have to give the credit note. You can give the credit note. If the tax rate is extra, you can give the credit note. Defective goods, credit note. Return goods sold, that is returned. In that case, you can give the credit note. In all these credit notes, you can mention the tax as well. Whatever he paid, no, that payment of the taxes, that you are reversing. You are giving that tax back to that person. So this is about credit note. What is the last day to give the credit note? So you can give it from in the immediate next month in your return. No. So you are giving credit note today. That means next month when you file your return for that month, September month ka return that you file in October, by 20th you have to file the return. So by 20th October you have to show it. Sir, I forgot, sir. So in that case, what is the last date? It is 30th November or the annual return, when you file the annual return, whichever is earlier. That is about credit note. Debit note, ulta of credit note. So this is about section number 34. Later we discussed about ITC, input tax credit, correct? No, ITC ka sections. So input tax credit, we discussed that section number 16. Subsection 1, when you are eligible, if you are purchasing any goods or services which are intended to be which are used or intended to be used in your business, only then you get ITC. If you are purchasing it for personal consumption, no ITC. Section number 16, subsection 1. Section number 16, subsection 2. It is about you should have received the goods. See, possession of the tax invoice. You should have the tax invoice and you should have received the goods. And the third one is actually paid to the government. Your supplier, no, he is paying to the government. That means he is filing GSTR 1. Only then I'll get ITC. Otherwise, I don't get ITC. And the fourth one is that I have to file my return to get the claim ITC. For claiming the ITC, I have to file my return. Okay. So this is about section number 16, subsection 2. Section number 16, subsection 3. It is depreciation or ITC, not both. You can claim ITC. If you claim ITC, don't show that tax amount in your the capital amount. That capital asset, no. When you show the capital asset in your balance sheet, you have to show only the value, not GST, if you are taking ITC. If you don't take ITC, then go for depreciation. That means you can show that GST also in the capital asset. Yes. Next, maximum time limit for ITC, 30th November of the next financial year or date of filing of the annual return, whichever is earlier. What is the last date to take the ITC? It is next year ka 30th November or annual return, whichever is earlier, not later than that, later to that. Why? Because post-mortem is already done. After that, you cannot go for, treatment. Okay. Sir, can you explain ITC by giving practical examples? Yeah, sure. We will do one thing. Once we study all these things, we will go to the questions. So there you will get to know that how to solve these questions. Okay? Practically it is. How to solve these questions, we will get to know. Okay. So in this, you want some examples here for depreciation or ITC. Sir, am I visible? No, you are not. Shubham Agrawal. So depreciation or ITC. Here the question is depreciation mein, example, you have purchased the goods of 2 lakh rupees and GST that you paid on this is 20,000. Now you can claim ITC or depreciation. How, sir? See, this 2 lakhs, no, you will write it in your balance sheet. You will write it in this balance sheet. So if you are writing in your balance sheet 2,20,000, then ITC is not available. Why? Because you are getting depreciation on this 20,000. Anyhow, you are getting depreciation on this 20,000. That's why ITC is not available. What if you put the ITC here? What you take the ITC? In that case, you cannot show 2,20,000. You have to show only 2 lakh rupees. So that is the rule. Section number 16, subsection 3 ka rules it is. And maximum time limit is the 30th November of the next financial year or date of filing the annual return, whichever is earlier. Now we are going for section number 17, subsection 1, when the goods are used for business and non-business purpose. If you are using some goods for business purpose and non-business purpose. Example, I am purchasing 100 water bottles. Think that I am purchasing 100 water bottles and I paid, 100 water bottles ke liye, I paid the amount of 10,000 rupees plus GST of 1,000 rupees. Totally how much I paid? 11,000 rupees. Now in this 11,000, no, what I am doing? I am using 90 bottles for my business purpose. That means 90 bottles I sold. While selling, I had to drink some water. I used 10 bottles for my personal consumption. So now how much is available as ITC? Only 90% is available. Why? Because 90% you resold. Other 10% you used for personal consumption. You get the ITC for 900 and you don't get 100 rupees ka ITC. For 100 rupees, you don't get ITC. For 900 rupees, you will get the ITC. This is given in section number 17, subsection 1. Section number 17, subsection 2. When the goods are used for taxable supplies and non-taxable supplies. I gave you one example in last class. Remember, example, you purchased 10,000 worth rupees, some chemical for the production of 2 types of goods. Both are for your business purpose. So one is for glass purpose. You are producing glass. The other one is bangles. You are producing bangles. Think glass is chargeable to GST and bangles is exempt. So 90% of the chemicals you use for glass manufacturing and 10% you use for bangles manufacturing. So in that case, out of this 10,000 GST that you paid, example, 10,000 you paid as the GST, you get 9,000 ITC. For 1,000, you don't get ITC because you used it for exempt goods, manufacturing of exempt good. That's why you don't get it. Section number 17, subsection 3. What is exempt supplies? So here, non-taxable, nothing but exempt. This is not non-taxable, people. This is exempt supplies. I'm so sorry. That is not non-taxable supplies. That is exempt supplies. What is the meaning of that exempt supplies, sir? Wholly exempt supplies. What is wholly exempt? Example, government is giving some notification. Government gave some notification tomorrow onwards. On GST classes, there is no GST. Wow. On GST classes, there is no GST. That is wholly exempt. Government is giving some notification under section 11. Section 11 of CGST Act, it is about exemptions. So under section 11, government is giving some exemption notification that if it is exempt, if it is exempt, no, in that case, you don't have to worry. So that means wholly exempt supplies are included in this. The non-taxable nahi hai wo, exempt supplies. So there are, if you are using your inputs for two purposes, one is for taxable, the other one is for exempt. If you are using that for taxable purpose and exempt purposes, in that case, what is the meaning of this exempt? That includes wholly exempt under section 11, notifications under section 11, and non-taxable supplies. What are non-taxable supplies? Nothing but the alcoholic liquor used by PMHAN. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption used by Prime Minister Han. So these are non-taxable supplies. That is also included here. Nil rated supplies. What is nil rated supply? Example, salt. Salt pay, there is GST. What is the rate of GST? 0%. Are as good as I'm not paying GST, no? Yes. And that is included. This is anyhow the meaning of exempt supplies in section number 22 as well. Now, supplies under RCM. So you are selling some goods under RCM. That person has to pay under RCM. You are the supplier. Example, I am supplying the goods to you. I am the supplier. I have to pay. You have to pay under RCM. Not FCM. You are not paying me. You have to pay under RCM because you are the recipient. I sold goods to you. You are the recipient. Actually, it is my exempt supplies. As per section number 17, subsection 3, it is exempt supplies. And sale of securities, land and buildings. Securities, land and buildings. See, securities, we know that section number 2, subsection 52, it is neither goods. Section number 2, subsection 102, it is nor service. Securities are neither goods nor service. But still, for section number 17, subsection 3, that means for the purpose of section number 17, subsection 2, that is also included. If you sell some securities, no, that is also included. Land and buildings, as per section number 7, subsection 2, schedule number 3, there, land and buildings, Glance best friend, remember Glance best friend. In that, GL, L stands for land and buildings. If you are selling land and buildings, that is out of GST. Neither supply of goods nor supply of service, but still included in the exempt supplies. Okay. Next one, section number 17, subsection 4. Banking company, NBFC get the following options. Comply with the provisions of subsection 2 or avail 50% of ITC, which is available. You can go for section number 17, subsection 2. What is section number 17, subsection 2? You are using some services for exempt as well as taxable. In case of banking, only in banking companies, if you are a banking company, you are taking some services, you are using that services for giving exempt supplies and taxable supplies. Now, you have an option only for banking companies. You have an option. You can go for section number 17, subsection 2. You can apportion. Sir, if that apportionment is not possible, what to do, sir? Directly take that 50%. You avail the 50%, other 50% is lost. Okay. Yes. Do all exempt supplies includes RCM? No. Only for the section 17, subsection 2. Only for section number 17, subsection 2. This section number 17, subsection 3 is explanation for section number 17, subsection 2. In registration chapter, exempt supply includes only these three things. Wholly exempt, non-taxable supplies, nil rated supplies. You know that aggregate turnover. What is aggregate turnover? Aggregate turnover, it is taxable supplies, plus interstate supplies, plus exempt supplies, plus export supplies. Correct? No? If you remember, TIEE. So now what is this exempt supply, sir? What is the meaning of exempt supply here? It won't include RCM and land and buildings. This section number 17 subsection 3 is only for section number 17 subsection 2. That exempt supplies, this exempt supplies, no, aggregate turnover ka exempt supplies includes only these three, which is exempt supply includes wholly exempt supplies, non-taxable supplies, and nil rated supplies. Only these three. Clear? Yes, sir. So now we have to discuss about blocked credits. A long way to go, people. We have to go a little fast. Now we are discussing about blocked credits. So इस पे आप कभी भी ITC नहीं ले सकते. So you cannot take ITC on these blocked supplies, blocked credit. So there are some of the supplies which are blocked. You are purchasing some goods or purchasing services on which you don't get the GST. ITC is not available. This is blocked credits. Okay. So now what is blocked credit, sir? There are section number 17, subsection 5. Remember, section number 17, subsection 5 is for blocked credits. Okay. Section number 17, subsection 5. That is blocked credits. So in that, section number 17, subsection 5, clause A. Section number 17, subsection 5, clause A. Vehicles, aircraft and vessel. If you are purchasing vehicles, aircraft and vessel, then your ITC on that vehicle, aircraft and vessel is blocked. Now first we will discuss about vehicle. On which vehicle ITC is blocked? If the number of the seating capacity, see, that vehicle is meant for, see, the vehicle for transportation of persons, that vehicle is meant for transportation of persons. Okay. And in case of vehicle, see, vehicle for transportation of persons and having seating capacity less than or equal to 13 members, including driver. If the number of people who are there in that seating capacity of that vehicle is less than or equal to 13, in that case, including driver, in that case, ITC is not allowed. Sir, I am using that vehicle for my business purpose, sir. Even then you don't get ITC, Bob. See, I am purchasing one car for transportation of passengers or not passengers, persons. That person is my directors. Directors are coming to my business for business purpose, sir. Even then, I don't get ITC. Remember, I won't get ITC here. ITC is blocked for that. You are using for business purpose or no, you are not using for that business purpose. In that case, ITC is blocked here. Remember, ITC is blocked. And including driver, it is vehicle for only for vehicle purpose. This is only for these 2 points. No, this is only for vehicles. Including driver, seating capacity should be less than or equal to 13. Then it is blocked. Now, I ask you one question. The question is, I am purchasing this Benz car. Benz, no, it is. Or Ferrari. Some car. I am purchasing one Benz car. Think it is Benz. Mercedes Benz. Benz car. I am purchasing Benz car. That is for my business purpose. Purely for my business purpose. Will I get ITC? No, I don't get ITC because the motor vehicle for transportation of persons and it is used for business or not. Seating capacity is less than 13. No. In that case, ITC is not available. ITC is blocked here. I'll ask you one question. Sir, I purchased one Omni. I purchased a Omni. For what purpose? Kidnapping purpose. Hey, don't kidnap anyone. Here, Omni. For what purpose, sir? I am using this Omni. No, how I am using this Omni? I am taking out all the seats. I am taking out all the seats. And for what purpose I am using this? I am taking some goods in that Omni. So you might have seen many Omni in which the goods are getting transported. Sir, I am using this for business purpose, sir. I am not using this for transportation of persons. I am using this for business purpose. Will I get ITC on this Omni? Will I get ITC? I am telling you, no. Why I am not getting ITC? Because Omni is not meant for transportation of goods. Omni is meant for transportation of persons. That's why ITC is not available. You use it. See, if that is the case, tomorrow I'll purchase one Audi. Audi car and I take out all the seats and I'm taking what? Bananas. I'm taking bananas for sale purpose. I go to market, I keep Audi car and I keep Audi car ka dicky open and I keep some bananas, le lo bananas. So if I do that, I have to get ITC, no? Will I get ITC? No. Tomorrow, if I state that I am purchasing Benz or Audi for selling bananas, sir. And then very next day, I want to use it for my personal purpose. I'm going to a wedding of my friend. I'm going by Benz car or Audi car. Correct? No. So this might happen. That's why government says that meant for transportation of persons, meant for transportation of person, you don't get ITC. Finish. There are some exceptions here. What are the exceptions? See, you have purchased the car for some purposes. What is the purpose here? If you are purchasing the car for further supply, that means Toyota, they are purchasing Innova, Toyota dealer, no? He is purchasing Innova. That Innova, he is selling for some other person. For the purpose of further supply, then you get ITC. Or for transportation of passengers. Example, I am purchasing some cars for hiring purpose. In that case, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. Now, see a Nagendra Bhaktha and Co tours and travels. So this is the business that I'm doing here. Anyway, so I am purchasing a car. So that I am purchasing car for what purpose? For what purpose I am purchasing the car? For hiring purpose. I am hiring the car. In that case, will I get the ITC? Yes, I will get the ITC. It is not for the transportation of persons, that is transportation of passengers. In case of transportation of passengers, I am using this for transportation of passengers. Correct. So this is for transportation of passengers. Will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. For imparting the training, driving and navigation or sorry, not driving. Driving is also already done here. Here, for navigation purpose. In that case, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. For transportation of goods, except in case of vehicles. See, if you are purchasing vehicle for transportation of the goods and the number of persons are less than 13, seating capacity is less than 13, less than or equal to 13. In that case, even if you use it for transportation of goods, you don't get the ITC. But if you are purchasing aircraft or vessel for transportation of the goods, will I get ITC? If I am purchasing aircraft or vessel for transportation of goods, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. See, again, vehicles. What is the important condition? Vehicles, you don't get ITC. Especially vehicle meant for transportation of persons and the seating capacity is less than or equal to 13, including the driver. In that case, I don't get ITC. I'm using it for business purpose, or I'm using it for transportation of passengers. Sorry, not passengers, persons. I'm using it for transportation of goods. In all these cases, I don't get ITC. When I'll get ITC in case of vehicles meant for transportation of persons, I'll get ITC if I am purchasing the car for further supply, or if I am purchasing the car for transportation of passengers, or if I am purchasing the car for what purpose? I am purchasing the car for what purpose? For imparting driving school. So I'm starting one driving school. For that purpose, I am purchasing the car. Then I'll get ITC. Otherwise, I don't get ITC. In case of vessel, sir, I am purchasing the vessel for my own consumption, for my own purpose. I have one vessel. Will I get ITC? No. If I am purchasing the vessel, what is the meaning of vessel? Vessel means ship, boat, ship. So in that case, will I get ITC? For personal purpose, if I'm using it, no, then I don't get ITC. Seating capacity, nothing is there here. There is no condition. Vessel, by default, it is blocked, provided. If you are purchasing the vessel for further supply, I'm purchasing the vessel and I'm selling the vessel. For further supply, I'll get ITC or not? Yes, I'll get ITC. Second one, if I am purchasing the vessel for navigation, imparting or school, navigation school, for that purpose, yes, I'll get ITC. For transportation of passengers, sir, not for my personal purpose, for transportation of passengers, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. And the fourth one, if it is for meant for transportation of goods, sir, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. Even this same thing in case of aircraft as well. For my personal transportation, for my personal purpose, I am purchasing the aircraft. Will I get ITC? No, I don't get ITC. I am purchasing the aircraft for what purpose now? Example, I'm purchasing the aircraft for navigation, flying school. I'm putting one flying school here. In that case, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. I'm purchasing the aircraft for transportation of passengers. Will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. If I'm using that aircraft for transportation of goods, will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. When I don't get ITC here for personal consumption, I'm using this for personal purpose, then I don't get ITC. Simple, sir. As simple as that. So this is in case of aircraft, vehicle, aircraft or vessel. See, I have taken insurance for that vehicle or aircraft or vessel. Insurance, repairs and maintenance I'm doing. Will I get ITC on that insurance, insurance, repairs and maintenance of that vehicle, aircraft and vessel? Will I get ITC? I will get ITC if I get ITC for that vehicle, aircraft or vessel. See, if I get ITC for vehicle, then I get ITC of that insurance, repairs and maintenance. If I don't get ITC for vessel, then I don't get ITC for that insurance, vehicle, insurance, repairs and maintenance. You understand? बात समझ में आ रही कि नहीं? समझ में आ रहा है? अगर if you are getting ITC for the vehicle, so vehicle पे आपको ITC मिलेगा, then you get ITC even for insurance. आपको insurance पे भी ITC तो मिलेगा. So this is पक्की है बात. So insurance, if you are not getting ITC for vessel, when you don't get ITC for vessel, if you are using that vessel for personal consumption, not for transportation of passengers, not for navigation school, not for transportation of the goods, or not for further supply, in that case you don't get ITC. You are using it for your personal purpose, you don't get ITC for vessel. Then will you get ITC for insurance? No, you don't get ITC. You are getting this. अगर बाप को ITC नहीं मिलेगा ना, तो इस बेटे को भी ITC नहीं मिलेगा. Simple. बाप को ITC नहीं मिलता है, तो बेटे को भी ITC नहीं मिलता. So that means ITC is not available for vehicle. ITC won't be available for insurance, repairs and maintenance. ITC is available for vehicle. Insurance ka ITC is also available. Simple. Baat is, so it is very simple here, except in case there are which are used for the purpose said in those section. Correct? No. Where in section A, section number 17, subsection 5, clause A mein. So you get ITC there, you get ITC here. You don't get ITC there, you don't get ITC here. Simple. Yes. So next one is about following supplies where you don't get ITC. There are some supplies on which you don't get ITC. Which are the supplies on which you don't get ITC? Beautician treatment. On beauty treatment, no, you don't get ITC. Why you don't get ITC? It is fooling someone. Correct? No. So if you go to wedding, some ceremony, no, you have to see the, no, not required. Controversial statement. No, you have to see the ladies, how they look, full of makeups. No, why? It is fake makeups. I'm not telling everyone do this. I'm so sorry. Not controversial statement. YouTube pe jayega ye. I'm so sorry. So now this is, something which is artificial. For that purpose, you don't get ITC. Such a joke. Bad joke, sir. Beauty treatment, no ITC. Food and beverages, no ITC. Why no? You don't get ITC on food and beverages. Why you don't get ITC on food and beverages? Because food, how you prepare food? By purchasing many goods here, which are exempt. No, all the goods are exempt. Then why you want ITC? No, you don't get ITC. Outdoor catering. So same as food and services, you don't get ITC. Health services, will you get ITC? No. Health services pay, such as cosmetics, plastic surgery, again faking someone. See, faking it is. So in that case also you don't get ITC. Hiring and renting of vehicles mentioned above. Where? Here. See, sir, if I purchase the vehicle and vessel, aircraft, then I don't get ITC. I'll use my brain, sir. I don't purchase the vehicle, vessel or aircraft. What I'll do? I'll rent it. See, I ask my brother to purchase. I pay him some money and I ask him to purchase and he is hiring me that. Actually, who is the owner? Substance over form. In accounts, we have discussed the substance over form. Form is that I am taking renting on vehicle, I'm renting here. But actually, am I renting the vehicle? No. Actually, I am telling my brother to purchase the vehicle and hire it to me. It is one arrangement. That's why ITC is not available on purchase. ITC is not available on renting as well. If you are renting the vehicles where the meant for transportation of persons and less than 13 members, seating capacity is less than or equal to 13 members, in that case, purchasing is ITC is not available. Renting also ITC is not available. Okay. So this is following services, pay supply, following supplies for you don't get the ITC. This is under, I think, clause is AB. This is clause A, AA and AB it is. Sorry, this is AB. This is AB. This is B, clause B. If I'm wrong, people, you have to correct me. Otherwise, when you are making notes, make your own notes and there you have to write it. Other services. Which are the other services? Example, club membership. So you are my employee, I am your employer. On your behalf, I am taking some club membership, healthcare ka club. So there I am taking membership and I'm giving it to you. So there, this clubs, they are giving me the invoice. GST is written on that. Can I take ITC? No. I cannot take ITC on this. Travel benefits extended to the employees on vacation. Vacation, people, vacation. So you are my employees. I am giving you some invoice. That invoice, I am giving you some travel benefits. So from Air India, I purchased some tickets and I gave this ticket to you. Air India is charging GST on that. On that GST, can I take ITC? No, because I am giving it to you for vacation purpose. For business purpose, people, if this is business, business, you get the ITC. If it is business, you get the ITC, but for vacation, you don't get the ITC. Remember this, for vacation, you don't get the ITC. For business purpose, you will get the ITC. Yes. Works contract for immovable property. That means there is one immovable property. I am purchasing you. You are the works contractor. Think you are builder. You are the works contractor. For some purpose, for painting purpose, I am taking your service. You are giving me the bill. On that bill, you have written GST. Can I take ITC on that GST? No, not possible. It is blocked. Blocked. I have purchased, example, interior. You are interior designer. I am taking your service and you have given me one bill. In that bill, you have written GST. On that GST, can I take ITC? No. I cannot take GST on that because it is blocked here. Next one, goods or services purchased by the person on his own for the construction of immovable property. See, Indians, we use brain. If I take works contract, on that works contract, there is no ITC. I'll do one thing. I'll purchase cement. I'll purchase sand. I'll purchase bricks. I'll purchase everything, all the materials which are required for construction. I start building on my own. In that case, will I get ITC, sir? No, even on that, you don't get ITC. You use your brain. I use my brain. Government says that you use taxpayer, you use your brain. God has given me the brain. No, I'll use my brain. So government says that no, ITC is not available. You give it as the works contract or you purchase it and you do the work. Still, you don't get the ITC. ITC is not available. So these are some raw credits. If tax paid under section number 10, what is section number 10? See, that's why I told you have to remember the section numbers. What is section number 10? It is very good. It is composition. It is composition. Under section 10, composition. See, you paid tax under composition. Will I get ITC for this 10? This GST which is paid under section 10? No. I don't get ITC. Yes. So supplies used for personal consumption. Obviously, if I'm using some goods for my personal consumption as per section number 17 subsection 1 clause, section number 17 subsection 1. If you are using some goods for personal purpose, you don't get ITC. ITC milega? Nahi sir, ITC not available. Next one, goods lost, stolen or written off. Goods lost, sir. ITC also lost, sir. Goods stolen, sir. ITC also stolen, sir. Goods written off, sir. ITC also written off, sir. Goods, I ate the goods, sir. ITC also, you are eating the ITC as well. You don't get the ITC. That means these are thief ka case. You are fraud. You are doing something. You are pretending to be something. You just pretend that goods was there. Now goods is not there. No, you cannot do this. There is no ITC. ITC will not be available. Remember, ITC won't be available. Yes. So these are some of the sections where other services where ITC is blocked. In all these cases, ITC is blocked. People remember one thing. here, no, immovable property, works contract for immovable property. Here there is one note. I forgot to give the note. What is the note? If you are purchasing all these materials for construction of plant and machinery, for the purpose of plant and machinery, you will get the ITC. Example, this is one machine. I have to install this machine. Think, I have to install this machine. I have to put one base, no? See, you have seen many big machineries. In that big machineries, no, a big machinery has to be installed. So if you don't put a proper bed, cement ka bed is required. लगाते हैं ना हम, सीमेंट का बेड को लगाते हैं, उसके ऊपर इंस्टॉल करते हैं हम. So if we install it like this by putting the bolts and nuts, हम tight जो करते हैं उनको, so in that case we don't that is mandatory, that is required for the machinery. Otherwise machinery will wear and tear. Correct? So that yeah, I do. So that one machinery, no, you have to install one machinery. That installation of machinery is required. For installing that machinery, when you install that machinery, that bed is required. If you are purchasing cement, sand, bricks, and iron rods for this, installing the bed, no, for putting the bed, on this you will get the ITC. ITC is available. Yes, sir. That is also works contract. That is also construction purpose. Will you get the ITC? Yes, you will get the ITC. Yeah. So this is about some of the important points in blocked credit. That is about section number 17, subsection 5. Very important one, blocked credits. Next one is some special circumstances in section number 18. Section number 18, some special circumstances we have to discuss now. Section number 18, subsection 1, clause A. New registration. If you are newly registered under GST, you are going for new registration. Now, see, till now your aggregate turnover was less than 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs as the case may be. It was less than 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs as the case may be. Now you are threshold limit. No, your aggregate turnover has crossed this threshold limit. You have to take the registration. Think within 30 days you apply for the registration. Will I get ITC, sir? See, till now I was not registered. I have purchased some goods and that goods are in my godown. Till now I was not registered, sir. Here onwards I am registered. So don't you think for the goods which I sell from here onwards I have to get ITC? That means goods which are laying in my godown, no, that I am selling next day onwards. For that I have to get the ITC, no. That means I have to claim the ITC for the goods which are exactly prior to the 1 day prior to the date of becoming liable. The goods which are there at the end of the day in your godown 1 day prior to the date of becoming liable. 1 day prior to the date of becoming liable, there you had some goods, no. On this goods you get the ITC. The goods only finished goods, semi-finished goods and raw material. For capital goods you don't get ITC. Remember, for capital goods you don't get ITC. Only on inputs held in stock of raw materials, input in finished goods and semi-finished goods. On the day immediately preceding the day he becomes liable. 1 day prior to the date of becoming liable, he will get the ITC, not after that. Next one, voluntary registration. Section number 18, subsection 1, clause B. Voluntary registration. If a person applies under section 15, subsection 25, subsection 3, that's why I told you, you need to remember section number 25. I mean, section numbers required. You need to know now what is section number 25, subsection 3. It is MAMU section. What is MAMU section? If you are registered as voluntary, you are not liable under section 22 or 24. You are not liable under section 22, 24. But you are applying voluntarily, you are taking registration under section 25, subsection 3. That is voluntary registration. Then he is eligible to get ITC. On which goods, sir? Except capital goods. On all the goods, you will get the ITC before the date of grant of registration. Voluntary registration, you are not becoming liable. Still, you are taking registration. No. So, on the day immediately preceding the date of grant of registration certificate. So, you are getting registration certificate 1 day prior to the registration certificate. You are getting, there are some goods, no? On that goods, you are getting the ITC. Example, I'll give the example. See. So, you started business here on 1st of June. You started your business. On 30th of July, turnover has not crossed. Turnover has not crossed, but you want to register in Amazon. If you want to register in Amazon, then you have to go for compulsory registration. Why, sir? If you remember ISRO tank, Section number 24 is road tank. In that, tank may T. What is T? TDS deductor and TCS collector. If TDS is deducted and TCS is collected, to claim that you have to take compulsory registration. Yes, you have to take compulsory registration. That's why you have to go for compulsory registration here. Yes, sir. So now you went for compulsory registration. Think registration is not required. Compulsory registration wallali. So there is no compulsory. Compulsory registration means nahi chahiye. Voluntarily, I want to take the registration, sir. I will take the registration. I apply on 30th of July, and I got the registration on 1st of September. On 1st of September, I got the registration. I got the registration here. So now inputs which are held in your stock 1 day prior to 1st of September, that is 31st of August. 31st of August, ko, what are the goods which are there on this day? No, on that you will get the ITC. Not here, 1 day prior to the date of grant of registration certificate. You got registration certificate on 1st of September, no? 31st of August, 1 day prior to the grant of registration certificate. What were the goods were there at the end of your end of that day? That will be available. Keep that in mind. Next one is 18(1)(c). See, in both these two cases, no, first time you are becoming registered person. You are becoming registered person for the first time. You don't get ITC for capital goods. You know why? Because government is not getting to know that when you purchase this capital goods, this might be purchased somewhere 10-15 years back. Now you cannot take ITC. Depreciation, if you take the depreciation, no, it was completely depreciated. You cannot take ITC. Capital goods pay, you will not get ITC. It is the rule. Even if your business started in the previous year, for new registration, you don't get ITC for existing capital goods. If you have purchased new capital goods, now you get ITC. If you are purchasing new capital goods, no, you get ITC. But existing capital goods pay, you don't get ITC. Next one, composition to normal. See, till now I was composition. Till 22nd of September, I was in composition. Tomorrow onwards, I become normal registered person. In that case, don't you think tomorrow onwards, I have to get ITC for whatever I sell? That's why tomorrow I become normal dealer. Today I am composition dealer, no? At the end of the day, what are the goods which are there lying in my business, no? On that, I'll get the ITC, including capital goods. Including capital goods here, because business is already there. You are already registered person. Composition mein you are already registered. So that's why if you are already registered, from composition to normal, if you are going to normal, then you'll get the ITC. See here, if a person ceases under section 10, composition, then he is eligible to get ITC on input held in stock, semi-finished goods or finished goods or capital goods. Remember, on all these things, you will get the ITC. So on the day immediately preceding the date of becoming liable under section 9. That's why I told you need to remember the section numbers. Section number 9, subsection 1. So ITC is available only for capital goods. No, ITC is not available. ITC is not available only for capital goods. Why? Because I give you the reason. The reason is that government is not getting to know when you purchase this goods. Correct? Capital goods, kab purchase kiya aapne? So that government is not getting to know. It might be second-hand goods. It might be you have purchased from some other person, or it was there in your business since 10-15 years, completely depreciated. That's why you don't get ITC. ITC not available. In case of composition to normal, you are already registered person, so that you will get the ITC on capital goods as well. Same thing applies in case of exempt supplies to taxable supplies. You know that if you are using the capital goods for exempt supplies, you don't get ITC. Where, sir? We discussed about this in section number 17, subsection 2. If you are using some goods for exempt supplies, you don't get ITC. Section number 17, subsection 2 mein. So now, sir, earlier, I was supplying the exempt goods from this capital goods. Now I am supplying exempt taxable goods, no, sir. From exempt, it is becoming taxable. Will I get ITC? Yes, I have to get the ITC here. So if exempt goods supplied by registered person becoming taxable supplies, then he is eligible to get ITC on input held in stock, semi-finished goods and finished goods, even capital goods, on capital goods as well. On the day immediately preceding the date of becoming taxable, product becoming, goods becoming taxable. 1 day prior to the date of goods becoming taxable, there you get the ITC. Yes, correct. So lastly, no ITC for old invoice. 1 year, see, you purchased the invoice on 1st of January 2022. Now you want to take the ITC. Today, you want to take the ITC. Can you? No. Why? Because 1 year is already over. Section number 18, subsection 2 says that no ITC for goods for invoices older than 1 year. The invoice which is older than 1 year, for which you don't get the ITC. Next one, change in constitution from, example, sole proprietor to a company or to a partnership firm. When you are changing your constitution, with change in the constitution, registered person is allowed to transfer ITC which remains unutilized. It is not initialized, unutilized. So the ITC which remains unutilized in his credit, so that can be transferred. No. So when you are transferring goods from a small concern to a big concern, you are transferring not just the goods, you can transfer ITC as well. ITC also you can transfer here. Next one is regular to composition. So what we discussed here, composition to regular, composition to normal or regular. So here regular to composition. Now what happens, sir? Now what happens? Tomorrow onwards, I don't get ITC. See, I was regular. Till today, I was regular. Tomorrow onwards, I am composition. Tomorrow, regular to composition here. Or regular to exempt. Exempt. In that case, he shall pay the an amount equivalent to the credit in the input tax in respect of the input contained in semi-finished or finished goods and on capital goods. On all these, no, tomorrow onwards, you are not liable. You are not eligible to get the ITC. You have to pay back the amount. So on the day immediately preceding the date of opting for composition or becoming taxable. Note, in case of supply of goods or plant and machinery, which ITC has taken, percentage amount or tax on the transaction value of such goods as determined under section 15, whichever is higher. I'll explain. See, in case of supply of capital goods, think I purchase one capital goods. I purchased the capital goods 1 year back and I have taken ITC on that day. Now I am becoming from, I am going to regular taxpayer from the composition. Sorry, regular to composition. So I was regular, that's why I took the ITC. And after this date, I am becoming composition dealer. So don't you think I have to sell the goods now? Think that capital goods I'm selling. I don't want that. I'm not a manufacturer. Today onwards, I'll be a composition dealer. I will be a trader. The machine which I purchased, no, I have to sell this now. I sold this. See, example, I purchased the machinery for 3 lakh rupees. 1 year back, I purchased the machinery for 3 lakh rupees and I paid 30,000 as the GST. Total 3,30,000 and I took complete 30,000 ka ITC. Possible, sir? Yes, possible. I have taken complete ITC on that day and I was normal or regular person, a regular taxable person I was. Now, I wish to be a composition dealer. Composition dealer. In that case, I have taken ITC, no? I cannot take ITC for, see, entire life ka ITC is 30,000. I have used it only for 1 year. Now I have to pay it back. You know that there is one rule. What is the rule here? You have to deduct 5% per quarter. 5% per quarter. What is quarter in GST, sir? What is quarter in GST? Not bar. Bar ka quarter is different. That bar is different. That quarter is different. This quarter in GST, the quarter is nothing but April, May, June. So it is April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. It is always fixed. In GST, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. It is always fixed. Think that I have purchased machine on 1st of October. No, 1st of September. I purchased the machinery on 1st of September. I am selling this on 30th of December. I purchased on 1st of September. I am selling it on 30th of December. Confusing, sir. Here, huh? 1st September, I purchased the machinery. 30th of December, I am selling the machinery. Now, how many quarters I have used this? As per accounts, it is September, October, November, December. 1 quarter, 1 month. Somewhere 4 months. As per accounts, it is 4 months. But in case of GST, we have used it for 2 quarters. We have used it for 2 quarters. Even 1 day in 1 quarter will amount to 1 quarter. 1 day in 1 quarter will amounts to 1 quarter. Remember this. So September, you have used it for 30 days. See, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. So these are the quarters now. Even if you use it for 1 day in September, example, 30th of September, you use the machine. That machine is used, deemed that machine is used for whole JAS. That is July, August, September. That means you have used it for whole entire quarter. Remember this. And you purchase, think that one hypothetical example. You purchase the machine on 30th of September and you are selling this on 2nd of October. How many days you use the machine? Just for 2 days. 2 days you have used the machine. That is 30th September, 1st of October. 2nd of October, you sold it. In that case, how many quarters you have used it? 2 quarters. Remember, you have used it for 2 quarters. Because 1 day in 1 quarter will be considered as 1 full quarter. You have used it for just 2 days, sir. But still, the depreciation will be for 2 quarters. Is it an advantage or disadvantage, sir? Actually, it is advantage given by the government. See, here in our example, I used it for 1 year, no? I used it for 1 year. How many quarters in 1 year? 4 quarters. 5% per quarter I have to deduct. So 30,000 multiplied by how many? 4 quarters into 5% means 20%. 30,000 minus 20%. I have to deduct 6,000, 24,000. I have to pay it back. I have to pay back 24,000. Or I sold this machinery for 3 lakhs, sir. And I also got 30,000 rupees. GST, that is also supply, no? I sold capital goods and I got some GST. So that is also supply now. So 24,000 or 30,000, whichever is higher. To give you example again, listen to me carefully. Very much important one. Think that Mr. A purchased machine worth rupees 50,000, plus GST of 5,000. GST of 5,000. Totally, he purchased it for 55,000 on 28th of September. September 28th, he purchased this. He purchased this on 28th of September. And he sold that machinery for 50,000 rupees plus GST. He collected GST of 5,000. On totally, he got 55,000. No. Okay. Now he purchased it for 50,000. He sold it for 50,000 on 5th of October. On 5th of October. Now tell me how many quarters he has used it for? 2 quarters. That means July, August, September. Even 1 day in September, it will be considered as 1 whole quarter. He used it for 1 quarter. July, August, September, and October, November, December. Why? Because he used it for 4 days in October. No. So that means 2 quarters. So that is totally 2 quarters. October, November, December, that 1 quarter. July, August, September, 2 quarters. For 2 quarters, he has used it. So how much deduction I have to do now? 5,000 minus 20%. Why 20%, sir? It is 4 quarters multiplied by 5%. 4 quarters multiplied by 5%, 20%. 5,000 minus 20%, it is 4,000. I have to, the Mr. A example. He purchased the machinery, no? Mr. A has to pay back 4,000 to the government or 5,000, whichever is higher. Why, sir? Because see, he collected 5,000. He is paying back 4,000. He made profit in that. Government is not allowing you to do the profit in the name of GST. Don't do the profit in the name of GST. So I give you 1,000 discount. So you are collecting that 1,000 from your purchaser. That you are keeping? No, no, no. You are collecting GST. That is government's money it is. So you have to pay it to the government. Mandatory. You have to pay it to the government here. Okay. So this is the note which is given. So these are some of the important circumstances, special circumstances in section number 18. Clear? Okay. So we will see some questions. Later, we'll come back to this payments chapter. Very small chapter, payments chapter, very important one. Some of the important topics I have covered here. And there are more than this. So I'm very much sure that there are more than this. But for revision purpose, this is enough. Okay. So now we are going to the here. In case of input tax. So these are these questions, no? Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3. These are theory questions. So you just have to see the answer hint to this. So we directly go to question number 8. Fast. Swastik Private Limited is a manufacturer of taxable goods. Swastik Private Limited. You can see the screen, no? Yes. Swastik Private Limited is a manufacturer of taxable goods. It purchased the machinery for 8 lakh on which IGST of 14,400 is paid. So what he has done now? So he purchased one machinery and he paid 14,400 as the IGST. The company has claimed the depreciation under income tax. Okay. Now, if he is claiming depreciation under income tax, then he cannot claim ITC. Yes or no? He cannot claim ITC here. On the full value of the machine. So on full 14,400 paid by it as. So the company has claimed depreciation under Income Tax Act and full value on the full value of the machine. Full value is nothing but including GST, IGST component, and also availed ITC. Is it possible? If you go for depreciation, you cannot you cannot claim ITC. If you claim ITC, you cannot go for depreciation. That we discussed in section number 16, subsection 3. As per section number 16, subsection 3, you can go for ITC or you can go for depreciation. Both not possible. So that is, examine if the stand taken by the company is correct in law. What is the stand here? No, it is wrong. Why? Because as per section number 16, subsection 3, a taxpayer can avail the ITC or depreciation. If he avails ITC, he cannot go for depreciation. If he go for depreciation, then he cannot avail ITC. You are understanding? जा रहा है दिमाग में? हाँ sir, जा रहा है sir. Yes or no? Yes. Next one, question number 9. Sigma Consultants, an LLP of finance professionals, provides financial consultancy services. So there is financial services given by Sigma Consultants. Continue. It made an advance payment of 1,18,000 inclusive of GST. 18% is GST. Inclusive of 18%, they gave advance payment in the month of October to Azuro Computer Services for developing a software. Fine. Yes. The software would be used by LLP to enhance the precision of the financial advices given by it to various clients. So many clients are there, no? For them, they are giving some services. Who is giving services to the clients now? This Sigma Consultants. They are purchasing some Sigma Consultants. They are purchasing some services from who is that? Azuro Consultants, computer software services. Now, who is the recipient here? Sigma is the recipient of the service. Provider of the service is Azuro. Continue. The balance payment is to be made after the successful test run. Okay. In the month of December. See, where they have taken the services in the month of October. See, payment is in the month of October and the receipt of services in the month of December. Now, my question is, what is the question here? Do you think Sigma Consultants can avail such ITC? 18,000 they paid, no? In the month of October. Can they claim the ITC? No, ITC cannot be claimed. Why, sir? Because as per section number 16, subsection 2, correct, no? As per section number 16, subsection 2, there are 4 conditions. You should have received the goods or services. Only then you can claim ITC. Here, in October, they just made the advance payment. They have not received the service. Service they have not received. Service they received in December, no? They can claim GST, ITC only in the month of return. December return. December month का return में, that means in January 20th they file their, by 20th of January they file GSTR 3B, no? There they can take the ITC, but not in October. Remember, October may not possible because they have not availed the service. Service is not given to them, that's why not possible. Yes. Next one, a taxable person is in the business of information technology. He buys a car, maximum capacity is 5% for use of his executive directors. Now tell me, is ITC is available on this car? No, ITC is not available on this car. Why ITC is not available? Because it is blocked under section 17, subsection 5, clause A. If car is purchased meant for transportation of person, car is meant for transportation of persons, and the seating capacity is less than or equal to 13 here. You use it for business purpose or not for business purpose, ITC is blocked. So can avail ITC in respect of GST paid on purchase of the such car? No, not available. Question number 10, you don't get the ITC here. Yes. Question number 11. A technical testing agency tests and certifies each batch of machine tools before dispatch by BMT Limited. Some of these tools are dispatched to a unit in SEZ without payment of GST, as these supplies are not taxable. Now tell me, supplying to SEZ, what is this? This is called as zero rated supply. Remember people, this will be considered as zero rated supply. So now in section number 17 subsection 2, in section number 17 subsection 2 we specifically understood that if you are purchasing some goods which are used for taxable or zero rated supply and exempt supplies, then you have to apportion between taxable and zero rated supply and exempt supply. What is the meaning of this? On taxable supplies and zero rated supply, you will get ITC. What is zero rated supply? Export or supply to SEZ. We will consider it as zero rated supply. Correct? No. SEZ or this one, the exempt, taxable or SEZ, that is SEZ or export, that will be considered as zero rated. No. What is zero rated supply? Zero rated supply means it is supplying as export or supplying to SEZ will be considered as zero rated supply. There is difference between nil rated supply and zero rated supply. What is nil rated supply? Nil rated, that means the rate of tax is zero. What is zero rated supply? Zero rated supply means export supplies and supplies to SEZ. On zero rated supply, you will get ITC. Remember, section number 17, subsection 2 says that on taxable supplies and zero rated supply, you will get ITC. On taxable supplies and zero rated supply, you will get ITC. If you are doing the exempt supplies, you don't get ITC. Okay. So in this case, will BMT get the ITC, sir? Yes, it will get the ITC because it has supplied goods to the SEZ, and that is zero rated supply. On zero rated supply, you will get the ITC. And there are some simple questions here. We'll go to some complicated questions. Question number 15 here. Look at the question number 15. Harshgit Private Limited, a registered supplier. Sir, what if vehicle is a bus having more than 13 seating capacity? You will get the ITC. Hriday Shetty, you'll get the ITC. Don't worry, huh? You'll get the ITC. Sir, his question is, sir, if I have a business, I am purchasing a big vehicle, seating capacity is more than 13, sir. I am purchasing one bus, school bus wala, yellow color bus. It is for the transportation of employees. Will I get ITC? Yes, I'll get ITC. I'm using it for not for business purpose, sir. In that case, will I get ITC? No, you don't get ITC. Why? Because section number 17, subsection 1, it will block. If you are purchasing it for your personal purpose, you don't get ITC. If you are purchasing it for business purpose, you will get ITC provided seating capacity is more than 13. Yes. Okay. Harshgit Private Limited, a registered supplier, is engaged in the manufacture of taxable goods. Will you get ITC now? Yes, you will get ITC provided it is not there a blocked credit. Company provides the following information. Look at the information. Information number 1, raw material to be received in the month of September. You are purchasing raw material that to be received in the month of September. Which date is this? This is July. See here, it is July here. July it is. And you are raw material that you are receiving in the month of September. Will you get ITC? No. If you receive the, as per section number 16, subsection 1. No, subsection 2. Yeah, condition, subsection 2. Their condition says that you should have received the goods, only then you'll get the ITC. Otherwise, you don't get ITC. On 2,50,000, you don't get ITC. You'll get ITC in the month of September. Membership of club membership, no, blocked credit, you don't get ITC. On 1,45,000, you don't get ITC. Blocked credit mein, in other services, we specifically discuss, no. See here, in blocked credit, club membership pe, you don't get ITC. Here, club membership, you don't get ITC, it is blocked. Next, input to be received in 5 lots, out of which 3 lots was received during the month. Remember, I forgot to tell you one proviso. What is a proviso? There is one proviso here. The proviso for section number 16, subsection 2 says that there is one proviso. If you are receiving the goods in lots, no, when you receive the last lot, you will get the ITC. So now goods you are receiving in 5 lots. First lot you received in the month of October, second in November, December, January, February. In February, you got the 5th lot. Invoices or for all these 5 lots, no, invoice is 1 invoice. Invoice given is only 1 invoice. For 5 lots, you cannot take ITC in October, November, December, January. You can take ITC only in the month of February, where you receive the last lot. So here, inputs to be received in 5 lots, out of which 3 lots was received during the month of July. Will you get ITC? No, you don't get ITC. 80,000 ITC, you will get ITC only when you receive the last lot. So that means 80,000 pe ITC milega? Nahi sir. No, ITC is not available. Trucks used for transportation of raw materials. Will you get ITC? Yes, it is. Why? Because vehicles meant for transportation of persons is blocked, but meant for goods, that is available. So for 40,000, ITC is available? Yes, ITC is available. Capital goods, out of 3 items, invoice for 2 items is missing. Now tell me, invoice is missing, ITC is also missing. You don't get ITC. 2 invoice ke liye ITC is not available. That means that 2 invoice value of GST was 80,000. Out of 1,50,000, for 80,000, you don't get ITC. Other is minus 80,000, 70,000. Out of this 1,50,000, no, for 80,000, you don't get ITC, but 1,50,000 minus 80,000, 70,000. For 70,000, you'll get ITC. What is the total ITC that you get? Here, see, 2,50,000, no ITC. 1,45,000, no ITC. 80,000, no ITC. 40,000, yes, you will get ITC. Out of 1,50,000, you don't get ITC for 80,000. For 70,000, you get ITC. Total 70 plus 40, 1,10,000. So you will get ITC for 1,10,000. If you see it here, yes, you are getting ITC for 1,10,000. Clear? Yes, sir. One more question. Question number 17, no, 16. Correct, no? Yeah. Section number 6, question number 16. Jamku Limited, a registered person, is engaged in the business of spices. So it provides following details in relation to GST paid on inward supplies procured by it during the month of October. In October, they have procured all these goods here. Look at the question carefully. Raw spices purchased, raw spices sold to the customer 50,000. Raw spices used for personal uses of the directors, that is 20,000. On 20,000, will you get ITC? No, you don't get ITC. But on 50,000, on this 50,000, you will get ITC because it is used for business purpose. Section number 17, subsection 1 says that if you are using any raw material for business purpose, you will get ITC. Next, 50,000, you get ITC. 20,000, you don't get ITC. Yes, sir. Next one, electric machinery purchased for being used in the manufacturing process. Machinery you are used for purchase for using in the manufacturing process. You will get ITC? Yes. Yes or no? Electric machinery purchase for being used in the manufacturing process. For this 25,000, you will get ITC. Yes or no? Yes, you will get ITC because for manufacturing process in the business, you are using it, you will get ITC. Next one, motor vehicle used for transportation of employees. Employees, 55,000. GST is 55,000. Now we can assume that it is less than 13 members. For transportation of employees, it is less than 13 members. You have to write a note there. If it is less than 13 or equal to 13, in that case, you'll get the ITC. Sorry, you don't get ITC, it is blocked. If the number of persons seating capacity is more than 13, then you will get ITC. So you can write both the answers. I hope nothing is given about this in your book, in the question. So you can take ITC, you don't take ITC, provided you have to write the assumption. So I believe that they have not taken ITC here because they assume it as blocked. Payment made to the contractor for construction of staff quarters. Will you get ITC? No, you don't get ITC. Why? Because on a works contract or you are purchasing the materials. In both the cases, you don't get ITC. If you see this here, see, works contract on immovable property, no ITC. Goods or services purchased by the person on his own for construction of the immovable property, no, you don't get ITC. That means here for 1,25,000, you will not get ITC. ITC nahi milega. So I would say that only on 75,000, which are the 75,000, sir? Raw spices sold to the customer on 50,000, you'll get ITC. And 20,000, you don't get ITC. For 25,000, you'll get ITC. Why? Because it is machinery. So totally for 75,000, you'll get the ITC. See, for 75,000, you will get the ITC. Like this, you have to mix and match people. So you have to see that whether ITC is available or not. Okay? Yes. So some questions, why I am discussing all these questions? Because to tell you that if you are thorough with the sections, if you know that what is there in that section, it is just a flow chart that has to appear in your brain. In that case, you can easily write the answers. Now, we'll go to next point, next topic, that is payment of taxes. Okay, payments. Section number 49. It starts from section number 49. Section number 49, payments here. So section number 49 says that every deposit by a person shall be credited to his cash ledger. There are three ledgers here. Remember, there are three ledgers. One is cash ledger. The second one is liability ledger. The third one is credit ledger. Cash ledger, credit ledger, liability ledger. There are three ledgers here. All your liabilities will be mentioned in liability ledger. Anything that you deposit as the amount, that goes to cash ledger. And if you purchase something, you get the ITC, that goes to credit ledger. Now, anything that you deposit, no, that goes to cash ledger here. Self-assessed tax, self-assessed ITC. That means when you file return 3B, GSTR 3B, no, you are putting one summary return. It is in that you are putting ITC. That ITC, no, that is self-assessed tax that you will get in the credit ledger. That will be credited to your e-credit ledger. Now, e-cash ledger can be used for any payments. Any payment that you do, you can use the e-cash ledger. But e-credit ledger, remember, credit ledger can be used only for the payment of tax. You cannot pay penalty, interest, late fee, or any demand. All these things from the RCM amount, you cannot pay it out of credit ledger. Section number 52 and 51. What is 52, 51? That TDS and TCS that you have collected, that you cannot pay out of credit ledger. And fourth important one is RCM. You have to pay under RCM. That RCM also you cannot pay under by cash. You cannot pay by cash. Remember, I mean not cash, credit. By credit ledger you cannot pay it. Everything you have to pay it by cash. So now, for what I can use the credit ledger? E-credit ledger can be used only for the payment of tax. Only for the payment of tax, you can go for e-credit ledger. Yes, everyone. Next one, subsection 5. Subsection 5, utilization of ITC given in section number 49 it is. Section number 49 says this, but practically it is different. Practically, I will tell you what happens. But section number 49 says that IGST, first you have some IGST amount. IGST credit is available. First, you use that IGST credit only for the purpose of paying IGST. If there is something extra which is left over, no, that you can use it for CGST. And if anything is left, then you can use it for SGST. It is in the same order. I'll give you the order. See, what is the order here? Remember, think you have IGST. IGST amount which is there in your ledger was 20,000 rupees. You have 20,000 and output tax liability of CGST. Output CGST liability, IGST liability. Output IGST liability is 10,000. Output CGST liability. This is input. This is input. 20,000 is input here. And CGST liability is 5,000. क्या हो रहा है? हाँ, wait. CGST liability is how much? 5,000. Oh no, 2,000. 2,000. CGST liability is 2,000 and output SGST liability is 2,000. You have to pay 2,000 here, 2,000 here. What you do now? What you do now? Input IGST. First, you will set off with IGST, output tax liability. Once you set off, how much is left now? 10,000 is left now. This 10,000, you have to use it first for CGST. Out of 10,000, you deduct 2,000. How much is left? 8,000. Now you have to use it for SGST. You have to use it for SGST. So if you use it, 6,000 is left now. Or I'll give you one more example. See, IGST which is available, no, that is 10,000. IGST available is 10,000. CGST, you have, this is input. This is input. Okay. Output IGST. Output IGST is equal to 5,000. Think output IGST is 5,000. And output SGST is 3,000. And output CGST is 3,000. Now, how to claim this? How to settle this, sir? First, you have to use IGST input for IGST output. If you settle, how much is left now? 5,000 is left. This 5,000, you have to first use it for CGST given in the section number 49, subsection 5 mein, IGST first for IGST. Utilize this for IGST. Next to CGST and lastly to SGST. We have to use it for SGST last, so that here 5,000 hai na, isme you have to deduct 3,000. How much is left? 2,000. That 2,000 you can utilize for SGST. You can utilize that 2,000 for SGST. This is given by the government under section 49, subsection 5. It states that utilization of ITC. First IGST, you have to use it for IGST. Later take it to the CGST and after that to the SGST. Now, if CGST, this is CGST, no? First use it to the CGST and lastly to the IGST. You can first see, first there is CGST input is available, sir. First utilize it for CGST only. Later, if there is anything left, that you can use it for IGST. And SGST, first to use it for SGST and lastly to IGST. Sir, can I set off CGST input with SGST output? Not possible. Remember, no, it is not possible. IGST, you have CGST input. You are deducting that CGST ka output. You are setting off. Something is left, sir. What you have to do? You have to, if there is IGST liability which is pending, then you set off it with IGST. IGST. Sir, even after setting off with IGST, some amount is left, sir. What to do, sir? You have to set it off. You have to set it off with SGST. Yes or no? No. Don't set it off with SGST. You have to keep it idle. Getting this? CGST and SGST. It is like Saas or Bahu. Dono ke beech mein there is no understanding. Okay, that's why I'm so sorry. Very sorry. Controversial statement it is. So here it is between the two people. Two people are enemies. Central government, state government. Okay. Don't relate it to the reality now. Central government and state government. There is some misunderstanding between central government and state government. In that case, what happens here? CGST cannot be set off with SGST. SGST input cannot be set off with CGST output. Remember this. This is given in section number 49. See, balance in Now, what is utilization of ITC? IGST, you can use it with IGST output. CGST, you can use it with CGST first, later IGST. SGST, first with SGST, later with IGST. Now, CGST cannot be set off with SGST. SGST cannot be set off with CGST. Not possible. Remember this. Or I would say that here, to put it in a clear form, see this. This is particulars में IGST, SGST, CGST and IGST, CGST, SGST. So we'll make one thing. I'll put CGST first. CGST, SGST. What section number 49 says? It says that first preference is for IGST with IGST. Set off IGST with IGST. And secondly, IGST, if anything is left, then set off IGST with CGST, second preference. Think that this is output, this is input. All these are inputs. First input with IGST ka output. Set off, if something is left, go to CGST, second preference. Third preference is to SGST. And CGST, if there is any amount which is there in CGST input, first set it off with CGST. Second preference is to IGST. Third preference is to SGST. No. CGST and SGST has, there is no horoscope will not match. Jataka match agudilla. Horoscope will not match here. Next one, SGST with SGST first preference. And second preference is for IGST. There is no match between CGST and SGST. This should be clear, people. This is given in section number 49, subsection 5 mein. It is given in section number 49, subsection 5. Clear? Yes. So now, if you go to this point here, subsection 6 says that balance in e-cash or e-credit ledger shall be refunded as per the provisions of section number 54. So if there is excess amount in e-cash ledger, e-credit ledger, you have to apply, you will get the refund. All the liabilities shall be recorded and maintained in e-liability register. I just told you that there is something called as e-liability register. Everything will be put in that e-liability register. And order to discharge the dues. What are the order of discharging the dues? See, example, you are purchasing some goods. Think you are purchasing some goods from some Dinsi shop. Last month, you have made some payment, baki. So, baki hai wahan. So, kitna baki hai, sir? 500 rupiah. 500 rupees is the baki, the balance which you had to pay. Now, you will purchase again. You purchase again 2,500 rupees. You purchased again. So, you paid 2,000 rupees to that person. You paid 2,000 rupees to that person. That person will get angry. But even then, okay. So, what he will do? First, last balance, no, that he will clear it off. And other 1,500 is for this month ka purchase. So again 1,000 is left. Next month you will purchase 5,000 rupees ka goods. You gave him 6,000 rupees. In that 6,000, first he will clear off the dues of old balance and later 5,000 for this balance. Correct? No. So what I am telling you here is that if you are paying anything to the government, what government will do? Government first, it will set it off to the self-assessed tax and other dues of the previous periods. So previous period ka dues, no, that it will set it off first. Secondly, self-assessed tax and other dues of the current period. What has happened to the current period, no? There. And any other dues, if there is any other dues for this period or previous period, that will be settled off. So the tax, first tax will be settled off. After that, interest, current period ka interest or any other dues, that will be settled. Okay? Understood, people? This is the order of discharge. Last but one, section number 49, subsection A, utilization of ITC. First, balance in IGST is utilized. Later, balance in CGST, SGST is utilized. That means, if there is any balance in IGST, no, first you have to set it off. First, you have to try that IGST has to be nullified. So that means you have to, utilize whatever the credit which is there in IGST. Why? Because see, IGST can be set off with any tax. IGST can be set off with IGST, can be set off with CGST, can be set off with SGST. But CGST and SGST, they have some difference of opinion. This you have to keep in mind. Continuing, Order of utilization of ITC given in 49B, notwithstanding anything contained in section number 49.5, 49B says that IGST, first for IGST, next to CGST or SGST. What is the difference between section number 49 subsection 5 and section number 49A? 49 subsection 5 and 49 B. Section number 49 subsection 5 and section number 49B, the difference is only one thing, that see section number 49.5 may next to CGST and lastly and here and but here the change is or. That means you can utilize in any manner that you want. First, utilize it for IGST. First, you have to set it off with IGST. Later, you have to set it off with CGST or SGST. It is your wish. Earlier, there was one compulsion. First, you have to nullify the CGST. Later, if anything left, then you have to take it to SGST. That will create some problem. So that's why they made it right by giving this notification, 49 subsection B, proviso. That proviso says that order of utilization can be anything. So this is about section number 49, some important points. Now section number, some rules are there. That is rule number 85, e-liability register. Simple rule, nothing. Okay, somewhere 5 minutes. People, 5 minutes may we can finish next 2 pages. So rule number 85, e-liability register. All dues are recorded in the such register, which is GST PMT 01, maintained in GST PMT 01. So all dues are recorded. Section rule number 85 sub rule 1, which says that all dues are recorded in liability. That means you have to pay the tax, recorded. You have to pay the interest, recorded. You have to pay the any other dues. So that will be recorded in e-liability register. Okay. Any tax, interest, penalty or late fee as determined by the taxpayer, myself, self-assessed tax, PO, proper officer, or mismatch in any return. If you have provided any return, in that return there is any mismatch. That mismatch is also given in this point. That means it will be added to the liability. Interest accrued interest, any interest which is accrued, no, that will also be included here. Basically, e-credit ledger mein everything is included. Everything means everything. Everything is included. You have to write it. Now, when you discharge the liability, no, then that liability register will get reduced. All the liabilities can be discharged through. Okay. How to discharge this liability? You can go for ECL or ECRL. What is ECL? Electronic cash ledger or electronic credit ledger. This is electronic credit ledger. This is electronic cash ledger. How to discharge the liability, sir? How to pay off this liability which is there in rule number 85 liability register? How to discharge it? By paying through the cash ledger or credit ledger. That is discharge, and discharge only through cash. So we have already discussed about this. What are these things for which you cannot use the credit ledger? You cannot use the credit ledger for the payment of section number 93, 94, 95. That's why I told you have to remember the section numbers. Section number 93, reverse charge. In case of services, goods and services. 94, specified. 95, that is for, remember the services, Ola, Oyo and Urban Club. These services, all these people, they have to pay out of cash. They cannot use credit ledger. Credit ledger cannot be used. See, the TCS, collected, TDS deducted. So I have to pay you some amount. I deducted TDS and I am paying on your behalf to the government. How to pay this? Not by my credit ledger. I have to pay it out of cash ledger. Not possible. TDS and TCS. Payment under section 10. Remember, payment under section 10. Section 10 is for composition. Payment under section 10 is for composition. And interest, late fee and penalty. Interest, late fee and penalty, that should be paid out of cash. Only through cash. Tax, you cannot use credit ledger. Sir, for what I can use credit ledger now? Only for the purpose of payment of tax. Only for the purpose of payment of tax I can use it, not for any other purposes. So this is about discharge only through cash. Next one, sub rule 5 says that liability raised by PO. If PO is raising the liability raised by added to the liability register, that we know. So if PO is raising any liability, example, PO says that there is mismatch. You have paid 200 rupees, you have to pay more than 200 rupees. So in that case, that will be added to the liability register. Appealed and got relief. So if you have appealed, see, PO will say that you have to pay so much. That will be added to the register. PO says that you have to pay so much. That will be added to the register. Now I appeal. No, I don't have to pay so much. I appeal and I got the relief. Government said, court said that, no, you don't have to pay. In that case, the liability register is reduced. Liability register will be reduced here. If the tax is paid, then penalty imposed might reduce in the register. If tax is paid, no, when you pay the tax, that liability which is there in the liability register, that will get reduced. And if any discrepancies, the notice to the PO in GST PMT 04. PMT 04 mein you can give the notice. So that, sir, I had to pay so much and there is some discrepancies here. So you can give the notice, or you can apply for discrepancies in GST PMT 04. So this is about rule number 85. Simple rule it is. So nothing but liability register. All the dues are recorded in liability register. Whenever you get the relief, that will be reduced. If you pay the tax, that will also get reduced. So this is liability register. Next one is about rule number 86, electronic credit ledger. So what will be there in electronic credit ledger? Every claim of ITC, every claim of ITC will be credited to this ledger. That means you purchase something. On that you paid the GST. When you pay the GST on that amount, no, that GST will be credited to your e-credit ledger. If that person who supplied you the goods, no, he has to file GSTR 1. Only then that will get credited to your e-credit ledger. That will be credited to your e-credit ledger. It will be debited with claim discharge. That means while filing the 3B, GSTR 3B, when you file, no, you are discharging that liability. That will get reduced. Okay, it will get debited. See, debit means reduce, credit means increase. Nothing but your passbook. Passbook mein amount will get credited when you get the amount. The passbook balance will increase when you get the amount, credit. Debit means when the balance reduces. So that is debit here. Correct? No? Yes. So next one, balance shall be reduced with the claim of refunds. So if there is any refunds is there, so you are getting some refunds. In that case, credit ledger will reduce. Correct? No? So you are taking some amount out of that credit ledger. So that amount will get reduced. If refund claim is rejected, again it will increase. You are applying for the refund. Moment you apply for the refund, immediately that credit ledger ka amount will get reduced. When it is rejected by the officer, then again the same amount will get recredited. That means it will increase again. If you apply for refund, that will reduce. If that refund got rejected, then it will increase. Lastly, discrepancies in GST PMT 04. If there is any discrepancies, you are finding something very difficult to understand, or anything, you are finding irregularities, then you can apply in GST PMT 04. And the last one is electronic cash ledger. So all the deposits shall be credited to your electronic cash ledger. Correct? No? Everything, you pay 10 rupees, you pay 20 rupees, 50 rupees, everything will be credited to your electronic cash ledger here. And payment shall be debited. You pay some amount to the government, that will get credited to your ledger, and you pay the tax out of it. So that will get debited. So GST PMT 06 is deposit, to deposit the amount. Challan is valid for 15 days. Remember, very, very, very important one. The challan will be valid for 15 days. Within that, you have to file the return. Not filing the return, you have to pay the amount. So you create the challan and you save it. That saved challan will be there in your saved challan tab. In the saved challan tab in your GST, that will get reflected, and that will be there for 15 days. After 15 days, it will get lapsed. Next, mode of payment can be UPI, net banking, IMPS, NEFT, credit card, debit card, plus over the counter. There is something called as over the counter, that also you can opt for. And lastly, unregistered person can make the payment through temporary identification number. In some time, you have to pay the amount. Even though you are unregistered person, you have to pay the amount. So in that case, sir, how to pay, sir? No worries. You will get one temporary registration number. Temporary identification number is available. By that temporary identification number, you can go for paying that amount. Next one, TCS will be credited to e-cash ledger. That means, see, I have to get some amount. I have to get some amount from the Swiggy. I have the restaurant. I have to get some amount from the Swiggy. Swiggy, they have to pay some amount to me, but they are not paying full amount. They will pay some amount by deducting TCS. That TCS will get, what they do? They will put that TCS in my GST number. Mera GST number mein they will add it. So once they add it, where it will reflect, sir? In my GST number. In cash ledger, it will get reflected. Getting this? So in my GST number, it will get reflected. Lastly, GST PMT09 can be filed to transfer the amount from one head to other head. So PMT09, sir, by mistake, I had to put the amount in IGST. By mistake, I did put the amount in CGST. I paid the chalan, sir. Chalan is also paid, sir. What to do, sir? In that case, what to do in this case is that you can file GST PMT09 so that you can transfer that amount easily between the heads. Earlier, it was not possible. That amount that you paid in IGST, you have to claim the refund earlier. But now GST PMT09 can be filed. You can file GST PMT09 and transfer the amount from one head to the another head. You can easily transfer it from one head to the another head. Okay. So this is about GST rules. Some of the rules which is about the payments. Yes, people. There are some topics which I had to go little fast. Now, if you get any doubts, anything, you can contact Trisha classes and you'll get my, so many of my students, you have my number. My number is also available and I am always available to you guys. Okay. Anyways, if you get some doubts, anything, you can ask me one thing. And other one is that people, please do study. I am sure that you are studying by now. Some revision classes are going on and you have to give your 100%. Don't depend for everything on us. Everything you should not depend on us. By telling that, I would like to wish you all the very best for your examinations. So which is going to be there. And one more thing, be a responsible citizen. GST, no? In GST, you get many ideas to make money, but please don't go for it. The godales, or I would say that the bribes, you can give the bribes. And by this happens, stick to your ideas, your views. So what is your view? See, ultimately what is required? The dignity of the profession, that is required. We are chartered accountant, future chartered accountants. We are not supposed to give any importance for bribes. No, what is required? Bharat Desh is required. So yeah, I would like to end my session with a song. Some are asking for the song here. So the song is my favorite song, related to Bharat. Yeah. देश से है प्यार तो हर पल ये कहना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए. सिलसिला ये नो मेरे नस नस तार कर दो और बना दो एक सितार, राग भारत मुझ में छेड़ो झंझनाओ बार बार, देश से प्रेम आंखों से छलकना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए. So being said that, people, anything. So what is the crux of this song? Is that मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए. So by telling on that note, I would like to conclude my session here. Sir, what about exemption and return chapter? I'll record the video and I'll put it on YouTube. Don't worry. As soon as possible. So tax audit is going on. As soon as possible, I'll do it and I'll put it on the YouTube. Thank you so much, people, for your patient listening. We'll be meeting on your success part. Everyone, thank you so much. Bye. Ram Ram.